welcome back to my crafty space. In today's video, I am going to be putting together a story using the Care Story Kit from Ali Edwards for this month's Story Kit Crush challenge using some of the newer kits. Now, as I've said before, my original plan was to crush the Delight kit this month, but since that one didn't ship out on time, I still don't even have it today. What I decided to do was to go back in time and use up the rest of both my Care Story Kit and my Teach Story Kit. All together, I was able to put together or design roughly 12 layouts. So today you're going to see one of my favorite, or one of the layouts I'm most excited for using the Care Story Kit. And then on Wednesday, you're going to see a layout using the Teach Story Kit. Both of those will be process videos that are exclusive to Patreon. So today's story is one that is taking us way back in time to when Erin and I were taking our engagement pictures. So I have a couple of pictures that we took on a caboose in a town local to us. And I haven't actually printed and documented any of these ones yet. So what I'm planning to do is to create a layout on one side that is a full page photo, and then on the other side that's going to be 6 circles that will go, well, 2 rows of 3 or 2 columns of 3 circles down the right page. So it'll be also outside of the page protector, most likely. And the reason I'm going to be using circles is because of this patch right here. I wanted to do something where I could use this patch. So I had punched a journaling card. I believe this was a 3x4 journaling card into a 3-inch circle. So I have this one here. I have the patch as well. I have this pattern card, which I believe was another 3x4 card that I punched into a circle. And I did that back when I was planning my stories for this kit. But then I actually decided to change my ideas from my original plan, which was right here. It's just going to be a no photo story. And I actually decided to scrap that and do something a little bit different. So I'm going to use my Care Story stamp to create 3 more patterned background circles that will be the 3-inch circle size. And then I'm going to pair those with some additional photos. I've got a little bit of journaling that can go along with the chipboard pieces here. And then we'll assemble it from there. So I'm going to go ahead and put you on fast forward while I get everything put together here. I'll talk you through the process. And then once I've got this done, we will slow back down and read the journaling to finish out today's video. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so to get started on my layout, first I'm going to work on the photo side of this layout just because it's going to be the easier of the 2 pages to put together. So first and foremost, I needed to go ahead and hole punch the side so it can go into the album and live outside of the page protector. And then I'm going to use this wood veneer title piece that says "Handle with Care." I really liked the gray lettering, or the color of gray on top of the wood veneer, and how that reflected a bunch of the gray in this photo. I think that it pairs really, really nicely with the black and white. Then I'm going to take the cork heart, which is adhesive backed, and I'm going to stick it into the bare spot to help and kind of make everything feel even. I don't know how else to say that, or feel balanced with the title piece. Next, we're going to move on to the right-hand side, and this one's going to be a little bit more involved. So the first thing I wanted to do was create 3 different patterned backgrounds that I could punch into 3-inch circles. So pulling out my Care Story stamp, there are a couple of butterflies on there. I picked the biggest of the butterflies, and I made this pattern by layering the butterflies next to each other. So just trying to keep things evenly spaced and a little bit offset in each of the different rows. I stamped that in my Honeyman yellow ink from Ali Edwards. So it's a bit of a brighter ink. Then I picked out one of these smaller, or I think this one's the medium size butterfly on that stamp set. And I wanted to make something that had a bit more of a taupey type of color so that it would bring in a little bit of those tones from the wood veneer. But when I was using this particular ink pad, this is Cascade from Ali Edwards, you actually can't see it hardly at all, not unless you had it perfectly positioned in the light where you could see the sheen on the page. So I decided against that one. went back into my ink stash and pulled out the newer yellow ink from Ally called Nescowan, I think is how it's pronounced. And that one's just a lighter, kind of taupier color yellow that I felt like paired well with the darker yellow. The last set of repeat stamped background I wanted to make is the Take Care title from the Care Story kit, and I did that in Rose Garden Pink. Once I had all of my patterned backgrounds done, I just needed to punch out 3 different circles to add in with all of the rest of the circles for this layout. The patterns are all 3 inches, and then my photos here are 2.5 inches. So when I put the photos on top of the background will still peek out from behind, and that's really the look I was going for. For my background paper, I'm using a textured white piece of cardstock that I have trimmed down to fit outside of the page protector. If you are curious on what size I use for outside of the page protector, mine is a little bit more, I don't know, I use 6.875 by 8.25, but I know many people just go 7 by 8.25, and that's totally fine too. It just, I like mine to be just a hair shorter than that. So then I am taking all of those pieces and I want to layer 3 large circles, the 3-inch circles, in 2 columns so that they go down the page. I have one where I've added my text to it and the one that is actually a fabric piece. Those are going to go in the middle because I didn't want to cut off any of the text. The patterns that I created and the pattern that I punched out from one of the 3x4 cards are going to rest on the top and on the bottom of this page. So they will interact with the edge, and I will end up cutting off the tops and the bottoms, which does not bother me at all. In fact, I really like the way that this looks in the end with those circles interacting with the edges. So I've got the 2 yellows on the left side. I have the dark gray and the brighter pink on the right side with my white with a bunch of text on it. I debated on whether I wanted to put something behind my photos to help the photos pop off of the background, but ultimately decided that I liked the way that they blended in, so I'm just going to put the photo directly onto the background pattern circle and not worry about having any kind of photo mat. After I made that decision, I then took 2 more additional journaling circles, and those are 2 inches. So they're a bit smaller than the photos because I wanted the circle to be the exact same size as the half circle chipboard pieces. This is something I did last month in a spread of Project Life, but actually I came up with the idea when I was putting together this page. So the Project Life was scrap lifting the same idea from this page and using it for my Project Life album, which is just kind of funny how that works out sometimes. So basically, I printed off my journaling onto or inside of a circle shape, but where only half of the circle had text on it and the other half was blank. So then I could take off the backing on the 2 chipboard half circles and attach those onto the white circle with text. So then you've got one side that has additional journaling and then one side that has the dimensional chipboard piece. And I really love the way that that looks. I love that it gives me a purpose for those half circle chipboards, but I also love that it gives me a bit more dimension on my page as well. So one of them is going to go in the top left-hand pattern, so the bright yellow, and then one of them goes down in the pink section. The other nice thing about these being 2 inches is that they do not interact with the page. So I don't have to worry about cutting off any of my text or worrying about cutting off any of the chipboard piece as well. It just fits pretty perfectly there on those circles. Last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and date stamp this with the date that I created the layout. And then once I have that done, I will call this layout done. I am super pleased with the look of the columns of circles and just so glad that I decided to scrap my idea and go with this one instead. All right, friends, that completes my layout for today. This one, I really love the way this one turned out. I think the 6 3-inch circles there are just really fun and a great way to balance out this super large photo. So I've got the photo enlargement and then a couple of the smaller ones. And I really like that I'm able to include more photos and then also able to include my journaling in a fun, creative way. All right, so let's go ahead and read the journaling for this one. So this one I have 3 separate sections of journaling, so I'll read all 3. The top one says, I love looking back on these early photos of us. I love seeing the care and the romance of our relationship, knowing how far we've come together. And then the small one at the bottom says, while time and life and stress and raising kids and on can take our attention away from each other, I hope we will always come back to and remember this, that our love is the foundation. And then this one that says paying attention, I wrote, my marriage to Aaron is something that is very important to me. It's a relationship that I want to do a better job of paying attention to, nurturing, and investing in. It's so interesting how even though we go through life together, just how much we change as individuals over time. I love that we both work to meet each other where we're at, truly try to understand each other and connect more deeply there. So just, little nods to who we were then and who we are now. So really excited to get this one in the album. Really happy for the opportunity to print off some more of these engagement photos. I still have a ton of them from our engagement and from our wedding that I would love to use to tell stories at some point in time. So, this is just one more step in the right direction of using those photos. All right, friends, well, that is going to be it for me for today. I'm going to be back again on Wednesday with a layout using the Teach Story Kit. So hopefully I'll see you back here then. Until then, I hope you have a great start to your week, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, friends.